Hello, Namaste, Salam Alaikum, Sat Sri Akal. Welcome back to another session with your Vahchef at VahRehVah.com. Welcome to high definition video shooting. So today I'm going to show you how to make fried potatoes. What is the first thing you think of is potato chips or French fries. We're going to learn both of these things today. So before making these potato chips, you have to understand the kind of potatoes we need to use to make these potato chips right. Here in US, whenever you go to buy these potatoes in bags, usually they are very clearly written that these are excellent for baking, mashed potatoes and for frying. These are Idaho russets which are very good for making chips and French fries. Now here is a potato. All you do is just peel these potatoes. So for good potato French fries, just trim off the edges so you get very nice shape fries, and just cut lengthwise. Cut into thickness you want. Here are your French fries. Now you all know that these potatoes, when you don't put in the water, they get oxidized. Here is a small tool which we can use to cut your thin slices of potatoes. Here I've got the plain potatoes. Here I've got rich potatoes. If you can get hold of one of these, you can always make fancy potato chips at home. If you spend little more money, you can buy adjustable slicer. This is a standard fixed blade. For making good potato chips, you want nice round kind of potatoes, and just peel these potatoes. Now using the slicing machine, just slice potatoes like this. You can see these paper thin potato chips. This way, using this small tool, you can make even slices of potatoes, and one potato I can make around 50 to 60 potato chips using this kind of paper thin slicer. And this side you can make into rich potatoes. Now you can see they are rich potatoes, so you can cut these kind of fancy chips. If you are going to cut your potato chips with knife, make sure that the blade is very thin and sharp. Okay, with this, very nicely cut thin slices of potato chips, make them very even. Now you can see, even though I have used knife, my potatoes are very even and good. Now I've cut all these four kinds of potatoes. So now let's talk a little more about French fries. French fries are different from chips because chips are fried raw, whereas French fries, we boil them and then fry. So there is a little bit of subtle difference which we're going to learn today. The kind of potatoes we're going to use for making these French fries have to be high in solids. High in solids in sense they have to be heavy to their size. Fresh potatoes, that is a fresh harvest, are high in moisture and they are not very good for making French fries. These potatoes become high in solids when they breathe, and then a little bit of moisture evaporates and these potatoes become heavy and more solid. Now the difference between breathing, see, eggs breathe and the potatoes breathe, but when eggs breathe they become lighter because the outer shell doesn't shrink and there is a hollow that happens in these eggs, and that way these eggs become lighter. If you remember our experiment, which we're going to do it again. Okay, add salt and let's mix it up. The more older they get, they become more solid, and the more older they get, they become lighter. If this egg is fresh, it's going to settle down flat. If it is slightly older, it will turn upside, and if it is much older, it will float on top. These eggs are pretty fresh, but anyway, when you put in salt water, you can see that this egg is slightly standing up, because once these eggs breathe, inside they become hollow and they become lighter. Okay. If you see, it is going and settling down at the bottom. If these are fresh potatoes and if you make this salt water a little more concentrate, these potatoes will slightly float in the water. Now I washed these French fries a couple of times and I removed that starchy content, and then you're going to bring it to a boil and you're going to cook these potatoes till they are 60 to 70% done, and rest of the things are going to be done when you're going to fry them. Here I've got the kettle fried potato kind of things. These are cut a little bit thicker, and the next is ridged kind of potato chips, and the last one is very fine potato chips. These are the usual kind of chips you buy in the market. All you do is take these potato chips on a paper or a cloth towel, and we're going to dry them out before we fry. Take some more paper and just press on top, and all these things will absorb all this moisture and they are ready to go into your frying pan. Now you can see that these potatoes are not really sizzling because the right temperature to fry potatoes, it is around 320 degrees for thin crispy chips. But whereas for the kettle potatoes, where you cut the potato chips little bit thicker, the frying temperature has to be 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Whereas for the ridged potatoes, you can go 10 more degrees up by going to 330 degrees Fahrenheit. When you're frying, you always have to mix these potatoes so that they don't stick to each other and your frying is very even. Usually to fry these potato chips, it takes around 7 minutes. If you are frying these in less than 4 minutes or 5 minutes, that means the temperature has been too high and some of your chips may not come as crispy. Now, let us understand the most simplest thing. Why do these potato chips become crispy? Because all the moisture that is there needs to evaporate. If the moisture doesn't evaporate, the chips will remain soft. I've got here French fries boiled. They are almost 60 to 70% cooked. I'm going to drain them. Okay. Once you drain these potato French fries, just put them on a towel so that this additional moisture gets evaporated, and then we can fry these. Very nice color. If you want to get a little bit golden color, you can increase the temperature of this oil now, but this color is good enough. I'm going to remove all these fries. Just sprinkle a little bit of salt on top. Toss them a little bit. French fries need to be fried at 360 degrees, much more hot than your samosas. Whereas for the chips, 320 degrees Fahrenheit, whereas for the French fries, 360 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a 40-degree variation, okay? The reason why we need to fry these French fries at 360 degrees Fahrenheit is because if you fry these at 330 or 340, these potatoes will absorb a lot of oil and they will become soggy. Now, why in potato chips it is different and why it is different? See, these potatoes have been boiled. That means this potato starch has been modified. And when it is done, if you put at a low temperature, this will absorb the oil and become soggy. Whereas in the potato chips, the starch is in a different stage. That's why you can fry them in a low heat. Still, the potatoes will not absorb the oil. You know, you can cut them a little bit thinner. I have cut a little bit thicker here. Okay. Now, if you see these potato French fries, okay. See, they are very nice crispy. Take a paper towel, remove this moisture. You want these potatoes to fry nicely, so do not add too many potato chips to fry. Just take good enough that you can mix them easily. Because of these ridges, the exposed surface area is much higher. These potatoes can be fried at a little higher temperature, and these can be done at a much faster than the regular potato chips. Sprinkle a little bit of salt and chili powder. You know, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of chili powder, make them really nice, spicy. Wow, this is good. Okay, here I've cut these potatoes with hand and they need to be fried at the lowest temperature possible, that is 300 degrees Fahrenheit. See, if the oil is too hot, the very easy method of reducing the temperature of the oil is by adding a little bit of cold oil. That way, you reduce the temperature of the oil and you will get the right temperature to fry the potatoes. Now here these potato chips are ready, so we're going to remove them. Look at this very nice color. Here are the kettle fried kind of potatoes. So dear friends, I hope you have enjoyed to learn how to make French fries and variety of chips. I'm sure now you understand that there is a lot more science and the control of temperature that goes into making these chips and French fries. So dear friends, why don't we make this a nice give and take relationship? I am trying to give as much as knowledge what I have, and I hope you're learning from this. At the same time, we need a lot of funds, so I have a very good package of 6 DVDs. So just donate $30 and I will send you nice 6 set of DVDs which you will enjoy. We have more than 60-70 videos in that in high resolution which you can watch on your big screen TV at home. So dear friends, I hope you have enjoyed to learn how to make French fries, potato chips, various kinds with your Vahchef. But remember, VahRehVah is all about inspiring others to cook. So please post your recipes and cooking tips so others can benefit from your great cooking. Thank you.